Hey folks, welcome back to HeartGold vs. Crystal. We are here in Mahogany Town, and we are investigating where the mysterious radio broadcasts are coming from that are forcing the Magikarp to evolve. And apparently they're coming from right in this building, you know, the one next to the tree with the radio antenna coming out. Makes sense in retrospect. Anyway, there are mysterious happenings going on here, underground, so let's head in. And welcome to the Team Rocket headquarters. We're not in Slowpoke Well anymore. This is a kind of a big deal. There's security and everything. Yep, in fact, every time you pass one of those Persian statues, you will run into the same two Team Rocket grunts. Over and over. No diversity in their Pokemon. Just over and over. It's a good source of experience, basically. And just for the sake of demonstration, let's show how we're taking care of these guys. We've got a Drowsy, which is a Psychic type. So use a Dark type move or a Ghost type move, your choice. Or just use something that doesn't suck, because Drowsy isn't all that great at this point. It's level, what, 17? Shouldn't be threatening you, no matter what order you're taking the gyms in. It shouldn't be threatening you at this point in the game if you took on Morty. And then a Zubat. Screw you, Zubat. I could take it out with the Psychic type if I wanted to, but no, don't feel like it. Anyway, over on this side, we have to deal with things a little bit differently. Or rather, again, I choose to. Since Bree hasn't evolved yet in Crystal, I wanted to get Bree a little more happiness, more experience, and hopefully get her to evolving sooner rather than later. So Bree will be doing plenty of battling in this section. Speaking of cool things happening, Hyper Beam. It didn't do that much, to be honest. It's not quite as satisfying as Hyper Beam is meant to be. But oh well, it works out. And then the other Pokemon that I'm currently trying to raise up is Frida. Because in Crystal, Frida is very, very close to getting Confusion. Confusion being the first Psychic-type move I would have in Crystal. And again, Psychic-type moves are very, very useful against... Oh wait, no, she already has Confusion. Okay. Confusion is a really good move to use against Team Rocket members, because they have so many poison types. So Zubat, Grimer, Coughing, all sorts of things like that will go down very easily to this incarnation of Frida. And yeah, like I said, it's not just one, but two Rocket Grunts each time you activate one of these statues. It gets a little tedious, but again, it's a good, easy source of experience. This one has more Pokemon, but they're slightly lower level. Goodness gracious, still not a threat. So as you might expect, I'm using Everett here, because Everett has just gotten the capability to be good. I also taught him Headbutt off screen. And basically, Everett needs to catch up on EVs and various other things. Anyway, there's a Grimer. Again, if I had Confusion, that would be a really good thing to use against it. But Bree has gotten way, way too much experience proportional to the rest of my team, so I don't really want to bring her in with extra sensory unless it's really necessary. Which it will be at certain points in this dungeon, but it isn't now. Again, let me state this very clearly. These grunts are meant for you to grind upon, because trainers do give more experience than wild Pokemon, so they're a good source. Anyway, for the sake of getting experience, I will be activating all the Persian statues and not turning the alarm system off. But of course, I won't make you watch all those fights, that would be really boring. Only when there are certain highlights that are worth noticing. Anyway, Bree is a much higher level now. I'm assuming this is actually from a later fight, but I spliced it in here to make things more smooth and suave and cool. Point is, Aeroblast right when I don't need it. Yeah. Metronome, I love you, but come on, guys. And then we have this guy. This is one of the few, like, unique trainers on this floor. You know, you have the 2 trainers who appear with every alarm. You have this guy, and you have a scientist. So not a whole lot of diversity, and unfortunately not a whole lot of diversity just for this guy. Like, he has 4 Pokemon. They're all Rattata. Isn't that fantastic? Yeah, if you have a fighting-type Pokemon, go ahead and use it. If you have any other Pokemon, go ahead and use it. It's a Rattata. This is in, like, the bottom percentage of all Rattata. I think these 4 actually constitute the 1 percentile. But yeah, they don't give that too much experience, but again, they're a good thing to bring in something weak against. And at this point, I don't know, Klaus hadn't gotten a whole lot of action, I guess. And I don't think I was patient enough to use Solar Beam on all these guys, because, well, Bullet Seed still wouldn't really do the job. Anyway, showing off the new Strength TM. That's pretty good. I think it's basically the best normal-type move Klaus is going to get. I could, if I wanted to get tricky with getting multiple copies of the same TM, teach him a stronger normal-type move, but having Strength for the sake of navigation and overworld stuff, still rather necessary, so. Anyway, down to the south there, I'm not going to show off, but there are in fact traps. If you step on certain tiles, you will run into wild Pokemon that I believe you cannot run away from, and they might explode and kill you. Just saying. And I think the layout was actually changed between the 2 versions, but either version you can't get through without fighting at least some Pokemon. So if you don't want to go through the minefield, your alternate option here is to go over here and hit a switch in order to turn off the Persian statues, or you can just bust through all the Persian statues, or you can do both, which is what I'm doing, of course. Coming here will also give you one of the few interesting trainers of this floor, because there are 4 trainers on this floor. He has Magnemite, and lots of them. And Magnemite, as I believe I have addressed, are weird little buggers who are weak to ground despite their sprite showing them levitating. So bring out anything with a ground-type move and they'll 1 to 2 shot it. It'll be pretty quick. Ta-da! If you're not prepared to deal with Magnemite, you may want to formulate a strategy, because you will be forced to deal with them in the future, in possibly one of the hardest fights in the game. So get a ground-type move of some sort. Just like grab Dig, teach it to somebody. It'll work. It'll do. Anyway, Magnemite was interesting in the 2nd generation, because in the 1st generation it was a pure electric type, but in the 2nd generation, which introduced the steel type, it gained a new type. And then using some sort of magic sorcery using Pokemon Stadium, you could actually transport it back to 1st gen and turn it into an electric fire type. I don't even know. But it gained a new level of defensive prowess in the transition to the 2nd generation. 4th generation, though, everyone already knows what the deal is, so less of a thing. But that takes care of the first part of this episode. Check out the second part for even more trainer battles and an evolution after this commercial break. Alrighty, time to continue this floor. Now, we've taken care of all the unique trainers on this floor, but that doesn't mean there's nothing interesting left. We have cool things, like I said, I promised an evolution. And you will be seeing it. And you won't even have to sit through fights. Isn't that amazing? You do have to sit through the alarm. I'm sorry. Should be ashamed. Anyway, here we go, evolution time. You'll recall a few episodes ago, Sandra evolved in Crystal after a harsh battle with Morty's team. And now we finally have Sandra catching up in HeartGold. A little less mind-blowing, since you've already seen the evolution before, but, ta-da, we finally have another evolved Pokemon besides Bree, because good lord, we need one of those. Sandslash is a pretty cool dude, and he also gets the move Crush Claw. Crush Claw, I was on the edge until somebody in the stream told me its secondary effect. It has a 50% chance of lowering the opponent's defense. That's a good chance. If I ever need to use a normal type move, Crush Claw will be a good option. It's slightly stronger than Headbutt with slightly worse accuracy, but that effect put it over the edge. It's definitely an improvement. Also, it's freaking badass, like, yeah, Crush Claw. Sorry. Anyway, I definitely didn't just teleport to the other side of the hallway. I don't know what you're talking about. You didn't miss anything, seriously. Like, at all. It was a hallway. A featureless hallway. And now on to the second floor. There's a teleporter back there that will send you to the beginning of the floor if you want. But there's no reason to do that now because Lance will fully heal all your Pokemon. So after all the attrition of the previous section, we're moving on to actually somewhat almost interesting and difficult trainers, maybe, possibly, sort of, sometimes? Yeah, not that guy. He's not very interesting. He had, like, Venonat or something. We've seen Venonat. But this guy has something interesting and unique and possibly difficult, maybe. It's pretty rad. So let's take a look. What is it? What is this wondrous thing that I have promised? He only has one Pokemon, but it's a doozy. It's a Golbat. Now, Golbat is the evolved form of Zubat, as you probably know. But, hey, it's faster, stronger, better than before, and if you found Zubats annoying, you'll find Golbats annoying. They can be dispatched in more or less the same way, but, hey, supersonic! I'm kind of surprised it's not a Confuse Ray, to be honest, but whatever. But yeah, it'll take more hits to take down. It will destroy you in fewer hits if you let it. You shouldn't let it. I mean, seriously, this is a 6-on-1, guys. You should be able to handle one Golbat when you're pretty much at full health from Lance healing you. But this is an introduction to shit getting real. Because now you're dealing with evolved forms. You're playing with fire. Dangerous creatures. But still not too difficult. Brought in Bree for the surefire kill, but I don't know, Sandra probably could have done the same job. And anyway, that wraps up this episode, and I will see you guys next time for the continuation of the Rocket Hideout.